Hey guys, it's Mayo from Yeah Yoga and Fitness, and today we are here with another Wellness Wednesday video for you guys. Alright guys, so in today's Wellness Wednesday content, we are going to bust some fitness myths. You really don't need to do an ab workout every single day. Most people do it because they think if I do loads of ab workouts all the time, I'll get abs. Realistically, it's a combination of like just eating a little bit better, get out moving a little bit more, you'll get a little bit leaner, you'll feel a little bit better, you'll feel a lot fresher. If you train your abs all the time, they're gonna get really sore, really tight, really literally crunchy. Biggest reason not to train abs all the time, you're just gonna get knackered. And you probably won't train them ever again. You'll do it for a week and you'll be really motivated. And then you're just like, can't be arsed. We don't want that. The whole point of this is you're supposed to train for longevity. You're supposed to be able to be doing this now, in 1 month, in 6 months, in 6 years. You don't want to go so hard you just crash straight away. So don't forget the rest of your body supports this as well. So train your abs and everything else and you're golden. Have you ever tried to walk upward on the stairs without letting your knees go over your toes? Have you ever tried to just sit down on a sofa without your knees going over your toes? Realistically, our body is meant to move. Your body is meant to move in so many different ways, you need to embrace that. In your training, focus on movements that make you feel good. Everyone's anatomy is different. Someone's knees might go well over, your knees might not go as over. As long as you feel safe, comfortable, and strong, we can build a robust body that can handle anything life is going to throw at it. Then a squat, just let your knees go over your toes because you physically can't squat without doing that. We also hear this a hell of a lot in yoga. Don't let the knees go over your toes. Ultimately, allow your yoga practice to make you feel good rather than worrying about fitting into a perfect posture. It's great to have guidelines. It's great to have some sort of structure to work towards. But remember to go with what feels good for your body. If not having your knees over your toes makes you feel okay and more stable, that's great. Stick with it. If moving ever so slightly with your knees slightly over your toes makes you feel good, go for that as well. Yeah, carbs are not your enemy. Carbs are quite literally the easiest fuel source any physical human being can just attain, right? If you're gonna cut out carbs, you're gonna cut out the literal majority of what you can physically eat. There's nothing wrong with carbohydrates. They give you energy, they give you fuel. If you are brain dead, you're not gonna do any work. If you are brain dead, you're not gonna be able to have a coherent conversation. If you're physically brain dead, you aren't gonna just actually be able to function. You will be a literal vegetable. We don't want that. The biggest reason carbs aren't the enemy is because they're our easiest fuel source to get to. Without you fueling your body, you're gonna be knackered. It's like saying petrol is bad for cars. Come on, you're smart. You physically need petrol to fuel your damn car. You need carbohydrates to fuel yourself. Nothing wrong with carbohydrates. It can just be optimal or suboptimal. If you're having 2 tubs of Ben & Jerry's a day, probably tail back on it and have some veg and some fruits. But there's nothing wrong with carbohydrates. They are just our easiest fuel source to have. Vegetables and fruits are carbohydrates, primarily carbohydrates. They are great for you because they are nutrient dense. Calling carbs the enemy cuts out loads of this. You cut out a huge vitamin and mineral intake, which you don't want to do. Your body physically wants it to feel good, to have better hair, good nails, healthy teeth, good skin. Don't cut out carbs. Oh, you can definitely drink. You can definitely enjoy a drink. Just not 10 pints. Let's just be sensible with it. Sensible is the key word. You can enjoy 2 or 3 glasses of wine, just not 2 bottles. You can enjoy a cider or 2, I freaking love cider, but just not 5. You can enjoy a vodka and Coke. Make small choices, like make it a single vodka and make it with a Diet Coke. You still ultimately want to have sustainable habits when you're working out. You're not working out for 8 weeks, you're working out for life. So in the same way, you can still have a drink or 2 at the weekend, which maybe not as crazy as you used to be. So maybe your pints can turn into G&T. Maybe, if you're like me, just swap it out for a tequila. You don't need that much tequila. No one needs that much tequila. You know you don't need that much tequila. Let's just face it. I've said tequila too many times now, it's gonna be great. God, no. Good God, no. Think about your heart rate. It will have peaks and troughs. Your workout regime needs to be exactly the same. You can have your intense days, but it does need to be followed by a day of rest. Rest does not mean inactivity. It can just mean either some light stretching or something that's just not as intense. Yeah, recover just as much as you work out. Stretch just as much as you train. Your body will thank you for it. Sound like Jim Carrey, but All on camera. Great.